Fans, it's the Sellout Sports crew here with you one last time during these NBA finals because the Boston Celtics just closed the deal with a suffocating defensive effort, 106 to 88. They win the series 4-1 over the Mavericks and close out a 16-3 postseason run, even with that little bit of a brain fart in Game 4. Still in a fantastic postseason run overall. Jaylen Brown's deserving NBA Finals MVP. Tatum was dominant in Game 5, though. Kristaps Porzingis logs a gutsy and inspirational 16 minutes, even on that torn left retinaculum, which I've learned how to pronounce. Hey, I just want to start by saying I never doubted it for a second, guys. It's been a great ride with you Celtics fans, and I just want to say I've enjoyed every minute.
Yeah, it's been pretty special. I think Tatum said it best immediately after the game. What are they going to say now? Because for 7 years, it seems like he's been doubted. In reality, probably like the last 5, because he found such instant success, reaching the conference finals, obviously reaching the finals 2 years ago. They weren't ready for the moment then. This is by far, I've tried to stay as neutral as I can, being a Celtics fan, but coming into these breakdowns and trying to give real analysis. But this is definitely my favorite championship that I've experienced, and I've experienced a lot as a Boston sports fan that's 27 years old. Just to see
this one's your favorite.
This is by far my
Are you
favorite.
not?
Wait, this is past Brady after the Deflategate.
How does this surpass? I didn't expect this. We're going off the rails now, but how does this surpass coming back from 28-3 against the Falcons?
No, those are great, but like just the amount of Tom Brady is just there's never going to be another Tom Brady.
Yeah,
That doesn't negate his excellence by any means, but you never feel out of it when you're in Tom Brady. Like football is different, right? Because it's one game versus a series. The way I'm talking about this is just because of the fact of how much doubt there's been casted on the Celtics over the past few years. Again, going back to Tatum saying like split them up. I watched a clip before I hopped on this YouTube of Perk, saying last year split these guys up. They're not going to win. It's not going to happen. We've heard it in the media for years.
That was me.
It wasn't just you. It wasn't just you. It was everybody. It was most people. And
here's the thing: I came on tonight with you guys with the intention of taking my medicine. So because I was totally kidding back a few minutes ago with I never doubted it for a second, and I was one of those people that said break them up. When you were on this very couch, Mike, you said that for about a week, and then you abandoned that take. So you were just emotional, but I believed it, and I was on that. And so I have to say you were right. So really, I want to give both of you your opportunity to just tell me off and tell me how wrong I was, because I'm not going to run from it.
Just one last thing, and then I'll kick it to Parker. Again, it comes to the maturation process that I spoke about a couple breakdowns ago. Might have been in the podcast as well. We've really seen it with Tatum and with Brown, in all aspects of their game, their aggressiveness, their ability to not be the guy and defer to the other, make the right play versus the play that will give them a stat. This was a total team effort, and that's why it's my favorite. And the scrutiny that the Celtics had for the last 4 or 5 years, and then to see it all, come together with such a dominant victory, that's what makes it my favorite.
All right.
I personally, I'm not going to take shots at you because, as you've said, you're not the biggest NBA guy. But to all the fucking haters that are on ESPN, Fox Sports, what have you, go fuck yourselves, all right? We fucking earned this. Jayson worked his fucking ass off. He listened to every little thing you said, and he just stuck the double birds up tonight. We won the fucking NBA championship. 4-1 against Luka and Kyrie, a team that people were saying had a chance in this series. I said all along, 5 games, 5 games. Then it got to 3-0, and I was like, all right, we're sweeping their ass. We slept a little bit in game 4 in Dallas. They get the win. Everyone acts like the fucking sky is falling. Like, are the Celtics going to choke? They got to win tonight, because if they don't win tonight, then we're going back to Dallas. Fuck you. All right? Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I wish Marcus was on this team. That would have made this, like, more beautiful than anything. We got rid of him. Hats off to Brad Stevens for making the trades this offseason, because him and Wick have said time and time again that they were just tired of the same old, of getting up that hill, and then the Rock pushed them down right at the very end. They did it. They climbed the mountaintop. They reached basketball immortality. Banner 18. Jayson and Jaylen's numbers are never going to be worn again in the Celtics uniform, other than by them. And I think this is the start of a fucking dynasty.
All right.
The fucking kings of the NBA are back. And to piggyback off of what Mike said, I don't remember the 08 series because I lived in Indiana. I don't remember the Red Sox 04, 07 because I wasn't out here. I didn't get to see every game. I just watched from afar, just watched the national televised games. But since the day I moved out here, the one thing I've always wanted was a Boston Celtics NBA championship. And after 11 years, I finally get to see it. And I'm going to this fucking parade. I don't care if it's 900 degrees. I don't care if I have to walk there. I'm going to fucking be there to see JT, JB, and the boys just parade their way through Boston. And I can't fucking wait. I'm so pumped.
All right. Well, yeah, I think first off, hands off to Whit Grousbeck being willing to spend for a championship as opposed to another Boston, really the two other Boston owners. So right off the top, like hats off to Whit Grousbeck. Hats off to Joe Mazzulla, because this was a very talented team. Obviously, this is a team that should have championship aspirations going forward too. But Mazzulla, like we've talked about it, like it's managing egos above all and motivating, right? And working with different personalities. I think that's the most important thing about NBA coaching. It's not as much X's and O's as it is in football. And Mazzulla did. I have to say, Mazzulla must have done a fantastic job. I came on this NBA postseason journey with you guys this year and learned a lot, and I thank you both. But got to give a lot of credit to Mazzulla for that. Want to get into the game a little bit, guys. First off, Kristaps, I thought, obviously, it was super motivational to have him in the game. It was just great to see him out there. And God, if he hit that three in the first half, the place would have erupted. But that being said, just him being on the floor was great. That being said, he was kind of a liability, especially in the first half. And I actually think the Mavs screwed up. I don't think they exploited it enough. They went at it a little bit in the first quarter. I was surprised that Kristaps came back on the floor after that timeout, after about 3 or 4 minutes on the floor, I think. And he comes back out on the floor. And then there was one time where Luka had him in the corner, easily could have had him beat. And I didn't think that Luka pressed that enough. That being said, I don't think Luka didn't get any help tonight, except from Josh Green of all people. But the rest of the Mavs roster, including Kyrie, I mean, I think that's one storyline. I know this is about the Celtics tonight, but Kyrie in Boston, just absolute no-show. I mean, I think he averaged like 15 points a game in Boston. It's
completely shrunk.
It's kind of shocking, man. I'll just finish this point, but like it's like he has self-neutered himself. Like now that he's this Zen master thing, and I actually buy it. I think that he's I think he actually is kind of like a calmer, changed, more mature person. And it's like, but did it actually make him a worse basketball player when he's pissed off, or situations that could piss him off? It's like, does he have to play with an edge? So I'll pitch that to you, Mike.
Yeah. You know my take on this. I was right there with you. I didn't want the Celtics fans I did want the Celtics fans jeering selfishly, but I thought it would lead to Kyrie being much more productive. And I think you're absolutely right. I think maybe he's lost that edge, that, that fuck you mentality that everyone's against me. I'm the villain. Let's go. I have to give him some credit. He did lead the Mavs to the finals. That was, he was crucial in big spots in the Western Conference Finals, picked his spots and made big plays and made his impact known. But he shrunk in all 3 games in Boston. To your Kristaps point as well, I just want to add a little to that. He comes in at 649. And you're right. They attack him on the pick and roll. 4 straight possessions end up in open 3-pointers for the Mavs. I think they hit 2 or 3 of those. They didn't hit all 4, but I think JJ on the broadcast said it was going to be drop. He always does drop coverage anyway, but usually he does drop coverage and his length makes up for it where he can close out. He didn't have that explosiveness tonight. That first quarter was very troublesome. The Mavs had 5 points when he came in, and they had 8 within his first stretch during that timeout. They finally found their offense. So I thought they could have exploited that a little bit more. I agree with you there. I think it just boils down to the fact that Luka and Kyrie weren't hitting their shots early. Yeah, Green was in the corner 3 and everything, but the majority of the shots.
I don't think Green really did anything until the second quarter anyway, right?
Right. So the majority of the shots, as we've been saying all series, are coming from Luka and Kyrie. So even when that's getting exploited a little bit, they're not being effective, and that kind of has a trickle-down effect for the rest of the team, I think.
Parker, you had something on that too?
Yeah, so I know Kristaps was a liability, especially early on, but I think we got to give Jaylen and Drew the credit they deserve on the defense that they were playing tonight. They were picking up Luka at half court, sometimes three quarters of the way down the court, and just harassing him. I think that got him off his game. And to get off on Kyrie, I think the rivalry's over. I don't think there's anything else we can do or say to him. We beat him in the finals. Let him just go about his life. Let him continue playing basketball. Let's drop the rivalry. We won. Let's move on.
So another thing about tonight is obviously Horford finally gets a win. He was second on the NBA list for postseason games without a victory at 186. He was only behind Karl Malone. There was one play tonight where I was like, wow, like that is awesome. Like Horford was in the corner with Gafford on him and just muscled by him for a layup. And like, I remember that play like that. That's one that's going to stick in my head actually. And it's just 2 points, but it's not just 2 points. And another thing that's going to stick in my head from tonight is what you said, Parker, is Jaylen Brown harassing him up and down the court, harassing Luka. I mean, to me, that's why he's the NBA Finals MVP. Tatum was obviously the best player on the court tonight. Really, the Celtics up and down 1 through 5, like their 1 was better than the Mavs 1, 2 was better than 2, and so forth. Like that's how this game played out. And again, that Horford beating Gafford kind of illustrates that, right? And then like
I just wanted him more.
Yeah, absolutely. It kind of boggles the mind that game 4. I think it was a little bit of human nature. Like you could debate whether it was like, oh, the Celtics got too tight, or actually they got a little too loose and thought it was already over. Who knows? It doesn't really matter that much anymore. The only reason I bring it up is, what is this team's mentality going into next season? Will they stay hungry? I could see them being like having a little bit of a hangover in the next regular season. Probably still the 1 seed in the East though. So anyway, the other thing I wanted to say is I disagree with the Marcus Smart thing. I think he is actually exactly the reason, the addition by subtraction. I think Marcus Smart being out is one of the biggest reasons that they won. I think it allowed Jaylen Brown to step up and be the leader that he needed to be for this team, because he is the emotional leader of the team. And I know you guys love Marcus Smart.
That's not what I was saying.
But no, but I'm just saying, like, you want him to be here, and that's all well and good. You guys, I understand you guys love Marcus Smart, but him not being here, I think, is actually a big part of why you won. I think Drew Holiday was a big upgrade. I think Drew Holiday had 4 offensive rebounds, and those were killers for the Mavs.
No, I mean, absolutely. I guess what I was just saying is, like, Marcus Smart was a homegrown player. He gave his heart and soul for years. I wish we could have got this done in 2022 with Marcus. I know we didn't. That sucks, but I also think that year led to the dominant year that we had this year. That led us all the way through the playoffs. I mean, they only lost 3 fucking games in the playoffs. I know that they were all technically blowouts, but I mean, I think they finished the season, what was it, 80-21? That's pretty
Yep.
fucking impressive.
No, Tori,
80-21.
I totally agree with you though. Drew took control of this game from the opening tip. Both offenses were struggling. 3 paint scores from Drew Holiday put us up 6-2 early. He was just everywhere. Even when the offense got a little stagnant in the third quarter, interestingly enough for the Celtics, it wasn't because they were just taking threes this time. They were just missing bunnies at the rim. I think they were 2 for 9 inside the paint at one point in the third quarter, just something disgusting. But the ESPN broadcast did a good job of pointing out Drew's activity. Even when they weren't making shots, he was all over the court. I think he grabbed 1 or 2 rebounds in that sequence as well. He called himself a utility guy, and that's really what he looked like tonight.
And the Celtics other guard, we can't leave him out. Derek
fucking White.
That was I thought he actually had a whole tooth missing because I think some of the blood was covering up. But I mean, what a play! Just kind of encapsulates Celtics basketball this season, right?
That's who he is. That's who Derek White is. 100%.
That encapsulates Celtics basketball forever. That is what Celtics basketball means. And that's what sets us apart. We're willing to make those dirty plays, or not dirty plays. We're willing to get dirty. And they've done this for years throughout history.
In the end, guys, it's a dominant win in Game 5. Do you feel like going forward, like, do you think that there will be a maturation process like we saw with the Celtics for Luka? Do you think that he's going to realize that, like, it's kind of interesting, like, he doesn't even necessarily have to get in better shape. It's probably a great idea, especially because I think he did wear down. Again, there was a stretch they said during the game he was 1 of his last 21 from 3. He obviously played better in the paint the last 2 games. He obviously played better defensively. He wasn't a complete liability, but teams are still going to attack him. And I think a big part of it, yes, was Jaylen Brown harassing him up and down the court, picking him up at half court. But the other thing is just making him expend so much energy on the defensive end, right? And until he is a better defensive player, teams are going to do that, and he's going to have a harder time on the offensive end of the floor, right?
It's just difficult for not all 30 teams in the association can attack him,
right?
Because there are a lot of teams, and there's a lot of playoff teams, let's be real, that don't have 5 guys. You pointed out the Al play. There's another Al play that comes to mind for me. It's the corner 3, 5 out early in the third quarter. Gafford had no interest in guarding the perimeter, but it's just like that's usually somebody Luka would be on, right? But you have to respect Al in that situation because he's already blown by somebody already earlier in the game for a layup, like you said, hard contested 2, and he can shoot that 3. That's, usually they'll put him in the corner and they'll hide him. A lot of the times the Mavs can get away with that with teams. There's maybe 2 or 3 teams in the league where that can't work. So
could you go with me here though? Could the blueprint be, this is obviously easier said than done, but 5 guys with handles? So a big with handles isn't necessarily a guy that can hit threes, but just basically a guy that can penetrate and cause problems for the defense. Is that something that you could see more teams doing to put pressure on a team's best offensive player like Luka, not necessarily just Luka, but other teams?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I think there can be, 5 ball handlers, but then you run into the situation of attacking the boards, right? That's kind of what the Celtics got into in Game 4. They went 2 bigs tonight for stretches with Kristaps and with Al Horford to kind of combat, the Lively and the Gafford on the offensive board. So it's like you take one thing and you give the other. And then
they went no bigs yeah, they went no bigs for a little while, and that was a disaster. So
Yeah, for
like,
the Celtics, yeah, I mean they gave up 3 straight possessions at the rim, so it's all about adjustments, and in a 7-game series, you see more of those. So
well, ultimately, it comes down to the Celtics are a special team with a very varied skill sets, very versatile. And like they have the utility man and Holiday, but this was obviously a special team, and that's what it comes down to, and that's why they're the champions. But because you guys are the green teamers, I'll let you guys close this one out.
Parker, all you.
Yeah, this has been 16 years in the making. They finally did it. GT, JB, they got the fucking job done. It was a total team effort. Great to see Al finally get a title. It was wonderful to have KP along for the ride. Drew as well. Derek White is a fucking legend. This team is going to live in Celtics lore forever. I'm just so happy I was able to watch them. And we're back for 19 next year, baby.
My closing words. The Lakers hung a banner earlier this year in season tournament to get their 18th. The Celtics raised an NBA Finals banner. So I'll be celebrating with the Celtics. I'll be watching them on the duck boats. And yeah, Lakers, enjoy your in-season tournament. Congratulations.
Burn. All right. Well, I'm gonna go check the NBA futures and see where the Celtics are at for
Plus 280
for 20. Oh shit, already on it. All right.
That's not enough
guys,
value.
well, thanks everyone for being here, and we will be back at some point with one of these shorts, one of these short situations that we do, maybe World Series, maybe before, I don't know, but we'll get back to you guys soon, and as always, check us out on the podcast, and we'll be putting the whole podcast up here on YouTube as well. All right, catch you later, sports fans. Thank you.